I know that I talk about virtual reality all the time, and I thought I would give you a little bit of a field trip through a bunch of the experiences that I think really stand out as what's unique about what's possible with virtual reality. These are all in different apps. Some of them are on the Oculus Quest. Some of them are attached to a PC for a little bit more power. But I'm just going to jump in and out of several applications so you can get an idea of sort of the smorgasbord of experiences that are available. And also it describes some of the potential that could be coming our way in the future. So come along. Right now, I find myself in the studio of Joaquin Sorolla in Madrid. This is a photogrammetry scan that's available through the OtherSight app. I have them turned off right now, but there's actually lots of things to touch and highlight as you're wandering through the space. What's great about this is, not only do you get to see the artist's work, but you get a real feeling of what it must have been like to be inside his studio. I'm specifically walking over here to this Trubetskoy sculpture. This is my wife Nadia's one of her favorite sculptors. And although the geometry underneath the scan is kind of rudimentary, you do get the feeling like you're in the presence of not only that sculpture, but his entire space. So I have free roaming, and I can really look around at the details inside this famous artist studio. This is me on the International Space Station. What's amazing is that as I watch this on the news, even though this is a simplified version of the space station, I really have a sense of presence when I see them doing a National Geographic shot of astronauts looking out of this cupola. I feel like I've been here before, and I have a real kind of idea of the space that they're working out of. This is another video. You can actually hear some of the audio in the background. This is produced by the BBC, and it is a short virtual film that takes historic audio that was recorded within a British bomber that was flying to Berlin, to Blitz Berlin during World War II. What's amazing is you are actually inside the cockpit with the people that were there virtually. This is the audio person who's recording this audio clip. And here we're actually up by the cockpit. So we get to follow them as they fly over the Netherlands and then over Berlin and back again, all with the live recording that was done by the reporter in the plane itself. This is an amazing way to teach history, whether or not it's a war story or it's just any form of history. Putting you in the place of the events as they're happening is really a mind-altering way to experience history, and worth mentioning this wonderful experience. I really can't give you a virtual tour without taking you to the Museum of Other Realities. This is an amazing space that takes cues from what it feels like to be inside an actual museum, with all the reverence that you might find in a world-class international museum, except all of the exhibits are virtual, many of which were created in virtual reality. They include the background information about the pieces, as well as background information about the artist. And you can slowly make your way through this changing environment as it displays. It has a constant collection, which is always here, but then they have touring collections that come in. It's a marvelous space. It includes all the sort of sights and sounds you expect from visiting a museum. And yet, all of the creations are done by artists who are working in this new medium. So definitely worth taking a look. One of my absolute favorite exhibits here at the Museum of Other Realities is World 1 by Scobot. It's this huge undulating surface, but as you start to move closer and closer to it, this surface becomes a veil that lifts, and then it opens up into this vast landscape that allows you to explore it through flying. So if you look down on the ground, it just says, press here to float. And so you just step off the edge and off you go. You're flying around inside these brushstrokes. I don't know if you can hear it. There's sort of this unearthly, sort of heavenly chorus of sound effects that are happening as I make my way through here. And on a 2D screen, it doesn't necessarily feel as ethereal as it does in person, but you can just sort of float around inside this space. You can actually look back and see the surface that you came from. But I could easily spend a half an hour in this space floating around and admiring the work in a way that I just couldn't do if I was visiting a museum in the real world. Okay, right now I'm using an app called Alcove. I'm actually sitting on a virtual open double-decker bus, tour bus, and I'm visiting Paris from the top of a bus. There's narration too, which I've turned off. This is utilizing just 360 video, but because you have the context of these seats, it really gives you a feeling like you're at least somewhat there. And listening to the commentary gives you a definite sort of tour guide vibe. But the context of these 360 videos with these seats really, really puts you in the environment. One of my very favorite VR experiences is Google Earth. Has the ability for you to experience anywhere in the world, any of their 3D models, basically the entire world, and fly around inside them. This is Florence, Italy, and I just love to just hop all over the planet and just have a look around. Now, when we're going to go on a vacation and I'm going to a city I've never been to, like before we went to Barcelona, I just spent a couple of hours flying around the city, mapping out where our Airbnb was located, and then just getting the lay of the land and being able to just follow the various streets and see where things were in walking distance from where we were staying. When we stay in Florence, we often stay in this area, and right down here in this little alley is our favorite little coffee shop. So I'm going to jump into another app and show you how I can explore the streets, not just fly over a city like Florence or anywhere else in the world. Now I'm in a program called Wander, which really just repurposes the Google Street Views that you see in Google Earth. What's really nice about it is I can go anywhere in the world and I can stand on any street corner and look around. This is our favorite coffee shop in Florence, Italy, down this little alley in the Altarno area. What I wanted to point out was not only can I go and see what it looked like this year, but also I can go back in time and I can revisit it before it became the coffee shop that I am familiar with today. So this is a wonderful way to explore not only the world, but also explore the world over various time frames. Some places have more information than others, but what I love about it is the world isn't static. I can actually visit it no matter what time I want to see it. Personally, I like this time, present time, because it gives me an opportunity to imagine that I'm in there right now having a coffee. Hi, this is one more place I wanted to take you. This is a piece of art, an environment created by an artist named Dirk Vandermeer. And I think it really illustrates what the opportunities are for creators to make places. This is purely out of his imagination. He is a prolific designer and builder. He uses lots of different tools, including Unity and Gravity Sketch. And it is purely magical, and it's very low poly, proof that one can create some amazing environments with very little. This world is sort of a showcase of a lot of his projects. It doesn't have free moving, as far as I can tell, so I'm teleporting from place to place. But I think it gives us a glimpse at what one individual artist is capable of doing, and the places that he can take an audience that are really quite beyond what's possible in the physical world. I think, if anything, Meow Wolf comes the closest to this kind of experience. So I'll leave you here and think about what you imagine is possible, and know that the tools are only going to get better. The headsets are only going to get cheaper and of higher quality. And thanks for coming along this first little field trip.